Hello and happy Tuesday. Welcome to Guitar Funk Player. Tonight we're going to go over some essentials of funk guitar playing. Kind of share what I've learned throughout the years of playing, not just funk guitar, but guitar period. But mainly funk guitar. So I'm going to start. I'm hooked up through my pedal to my amplifier, so I'm using my compression pedal. It's a compression sustainer boss pedal. Probably won't be using my crybaby pedal during this. I just want to kind of talk about some basics. So as I've talked on different platforms for social media and mentioned about hooking up different pieces of equipment, what recommended equipment there is, sometimes it's just good to just talk openly about guitar playing and the essentials of that. A couple techniques we're going to talk about tonight is, one of them is palm muting. Palm muting is used in all types of music. It is used in funk to deaden the strings as you're playing. So, for example, your right hand, when you're using your pick, your outside of your palm would want to lay flat on the back of the strings to get this kind of sound. It deadens the strings. Also, your left hand, if you just lay it over the strings and you're playing, when you're playing your notes, you can get a deadened sound, right? So that's just one technique that's used. So if you're playing a chord like a C, right, you could, like in rock and roll. In funk, you might how I slid in and kind of deadened it with my palm, right? If I didn't do that and put my palm down on that last one, it would stay. But if I deaden it, that palm is very important, putting that palm down. That's one technique that I want to share. A lot of guitar players like to overplay the guitar, including myself. I mean, there was a time where I played, I used to play for different churches, and I played with a couple guys that were really good. And sometimes in my beginning years when I was playing, they would say, they'd turn me way down, and I'd be in the back like, playing some hard chord, and, it just called for a little bit of, right? And so less is more. That's always a technique, or always a saying in music. And less is more. And with that concept, leads me into strumming. So strumming with funk guitar, depending on what you might be playing, generally has a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E feel. So to get that sound, you want to take your right hand and kind of deaden the strings with your left hand by putting your hand over the strings and kind of, right? Those are just like, that one right there is kind of you're just kind of filling in, right? But if you were doing something that required a lot of 1E and a 2E and a 3 type of, rhythm, you would do like maybe a, right? Like that. So that's a 1E and a 2E and a 3. And one of the last important techniques with playing funk guitar is, you don't want to play like a whole chord. So if you're playing like an A, like some people would play an A, a bar chord, right? Kind of play partial chords. So you play the bottom end of that A, right? You just kind of, since you can't see the video, kind of saying it would be hearing it instead of actually seeing it. So here's a full A. So here would be a partial A. Right? So you would use like techniques like even if you wanted to play the bottom 3 strings. Right? So there's a lot of different techniques in funk that you can use that will help you to overcome those challenges. Like, what is that chord? It's not a full A, it's a partial, right? Right? Okay, so we've went over the basics and essentials for playing funk guitar. I mean, if we start way from the beginning talking about the strumming or the palm muting, right? We go over that with the right hand. Then we can talk about, going over different things like strum patterns, right? We go over partial chords, playing those partial chords. Those are very essential to funk guitar. So this is just an introduction to the basics and essentials of funk guitar. There'll be more to come. I hope this has helped you in any way. Just kind of learn that, there's more to it than just strumming that chord. There's a lot of little techniques and little ways to get that sound. So have a wonderful Tuesday evening and enjoy. Thank you for listening in, Guitar Funk Players.